In this video, I'm going to share the common thing that all so-called successful people have in common after literally studying thousands of successful people's stories, and also how a Roman emperor and ancient philosophist said that we can develop this very thing. So I want to start off by just saying one thing I think that anybody alive can agree upon in today's crazy divided world, left versus right, and all this other bullshit going on with people being divided. One thing I think people can agree upon is that life isn't easy. We'll let that sink in. It's pretty fucking hard most of the time. It's confusing, it's challenging, there's all sorts of internal and external things we have to experience. And I think at the core, most of us, if not all of us, really just want to accomplish our dreams and live in a way that makes us say and feel like, fuck yeah, like I'm excited to be alive and make a difference, right? Do something that's cool, that maybe leaves a mark, even though our lives are technically insignificant and eventually will be forgotten. We at least want to feel like they matter and we made the most out of them while we could. But there's one problem. Everybody nowadays is trying to sell you on the next life hack and all sorts of things you need to do or be in order to be successful, whatever that means, to be happy or to get results. And that's the tricky thing, is everybody seems to have the solution, but then everybody still struggles with this, which is crazy. So looking back on my life, I, like you, or if you have in your own way, have had many hard experiences. A couple examples. I lost my brother at age 16 to heroin. He was my best friend. It fucking crushed me. I had a heart-crushing breakup after I left somebody I thought I'd be with for my whole life. I had a lot of childhood trauma and abuse that happened when I was younger. I've had tons of mental health struggles throughout my life. And because of those things, it's made me very strong. But at the same time, at all those times, I wanted to give up and even take my life at certain points, right? I got very low. Maybe you can relate. But if not, you can at least agree with the premise of this video that life can be hard and it's not guaranteed that we reach our dreams or live our best life. In fact, the only thing that's guaranteed is that we die. That we're born and that we die. In between, it's what we make it and fucking who knows, right? So I from a young age knew in my gut and felt like I was meant to do something outside of the average, and I've had big dreams for years. Thinking when I was a kid, I'm gonna be an inventor, a millionaire, a movie star, whatever. As time has progressed, I've changed and so have my dreams. But after studying hundreds, if not thousands, of different so-called successful people's story to figure out what it was that made them accomplish their dreams, what I found was so simple. I'm talking stupidly simple that it would go right over your head if you didn't pay attention and notice the pattern by looking at these people's story yourself. And that thing is grit, otherwise known as passion and perseverance. So let me ask you a few questions. When life gets hard, how do you respond? What's your default? Do you kind of cave in and get small and, oh, poor me and whatever? How have you responded in the past? I know at times in my life, I've responded like a warrior and I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna figure it out. And I pull my sword out and I charge into the problem. And I know other times where I've cowered and I've just been like a mess, devastated and destroyed based on what happened. Here's the thing, and I say that with compassion, I'm not trying to be a hard ass, but out of all the people that have walked the earth, the number that really went for it and actually got it or made it happen, it was whatever their thing was, right? The people who went for it and the people who actually got it are so far and few between that it leaves you to wonder, what was it that allowed them to do it? And the thing is, they embodied grit, that passion and perseverance. So those people, they tapped into what we call the indomitable human spirit. You've heard of that before, and if not, it's this idea that human beings are just so damn, resilient. We're so strong by nature for whatever reason. And those people, they also tapped into their passion, which is that drive and that energy deep within them, so they could chase their dreams or become successful and overcome the odds in the first place. It's safe to say as a whole, they were just gritty as fuck. They just made it happen. And it leaves a lot of people wondering, well, how can I do the same? So you might be thinking to yourself, well, how can I develop that grit? And the lesson that I found came from Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor and famous Stoic philosopher. And he said, this is his little quotation from one of his books, I believe, Meditations. So he said, and ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You'll be too embarrassed to answer, or you'll be embarrassed to answer. At the end of the day, what else are we going to do? When shit gets hard, sometimes life gets hard, but there's no reason like myself in the past, to take the coward's way out. There's no reason to hurt myself to escape. There's no reason to not face the challenge, because if we were meant to be in bliss in our life all the time, if it was meant to be easy all the time, I don't think we would have incarnated into this human experience in the first place. And that's the purpose of this life, is to experience what it's like to be human. And if you haven't noticed, we established it earlier, being human is not easy. It's kind of fucking hard. That's kind of the point, right? So I just want to, I guess, give you the lesson, or I want to give you permission to remember what you're made out of. Remember why you came here. Remember what this is about. Don't get so caught up in the noise, all the things going on in your life. Tap into that indomitable human spirit, into your grit, into your passion for living and the things that you desire, and into that perseverance that I'm going to fucking keep moving forward no matter what, because either way I'm guaranteed death, but I'm not guaranteed the things that I want in the meantime, and I'm not going to quit until I get them. So another thing, remember that as the OG Jesus said, and whether you're a Christian or not, I think you'll find this cool, he said, this too shall pass. I'm not really even Christian or on that Christian level talking about this, but just pure admiration, because dude, Jesus was a gangster. He was strong as fuck, and he suffered a lot, but he had the passion and perseverance for himself and his cause, and I think we can learn a lot from that, separate from the Christian dogma or religion, just as a figure of strength alone, which is badass. So I would love to have you comment below. What is your current struggle? Get some help from the homies, the men and women who are also going through it. And also write a message to yourself that you can and will overcome. So maybe you write down below, man, I'm really struggling with addiction right now. But you know what? Mama didn't raise no bitch. I'm going to fucking own this shit. I'm going to figure it out. Or whatever it is. Because remember, you are a badass, fucking strong, infinite, eternal being in a highly advanced meat suit that can do impossible things. If that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. Have a blessed day. Much love. Talk soon.